The judge went through that and I counted and I'm like, wait, this is 8-4. I see her and she turns to another juror and she goes, I am going to wring that girl's neck. The jurors, they do take their position seriously. They do take that responsibility seriously. Just prove it to yourself that you can do it and don't let that stop you.
Welcome to Celebrating Justice, presented by the Trial Lawyers Journal and CloudLex, the next-gen legal cloud platform built exclusively for personal injury law. Get inspired by the nation's top trial lawyers and share in the stories that shape our pursuit of justice. Follow the podcast and join our community at triallawyersjournal.com. Now here's your host, editor of TLJ and VP of Marketing at CloudLex, Chad Sands.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Celebrating Justice. In this episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Sylvia V. Gonzalez. Her journey from leading litigation at a large law firm to opening her own practice showcases her dedication, versatility, and the drive to make a tangible difference in people's lives. So I asked her, why did you want to become a trial lawyer?
I actually thought I was going to be a teacher. I was a major in sociology and Chicano studies. And so I ended up volunteering. One summer, I volunteered at my old high school. And while volunteering, I just realized I did not like teaching. I did not have the tolerance for the kids. They were so disrespectful. And so I just decided becoming a teacher wasn't for me. And so I went back to school to finish my last year. And I just decided to take a class on the different Supreme Court cases that made a huge difference in our rights. I was like, wow, these attorneys here, they really made a difference for our history, for us, and I realized, well, becoming a lawyer, you could actually help people. And that's what I really wanted to do was help people. So at that point, I just decided, well, I'm just going to go to law school and I'm going to become an attorney. And then while I was in law school, I thought I was going to become a family law attorney.
Interesting.
And so I externed with a family law attorney, and I realized I did not like it. I think it takes a very special personality to practice family law. And I just didn't have that in me. And I just didn't like all the arguing and everything like that, and between couples with kids and stuff like that. And so I just decided, well, I wasn't going to do that. And this one attorney, this personal injury attorney, decided to take a chance on me because no one would hire me because I didn't have any experience. And while I was working for him, I was doing the pre-litigation work and I was just going through the cases and I just realized, I was like, wow, these people are really injured. And it was no fault of their own. They're injured and they're going to have to suffer for the rest of their lives with these injuries, and their lives are changed forever. And I realized, well, these people do need help. And so then that's when I decided right then and there, I was going to be a personal injury attorney. Not really thinking, I didn't really think about, I'm going to go to trial and all that stuff. I didn't think about that. I just thought, well, I really like personal injury, so I'm going to do this. So after I passed the bar, I only applied to personal injury firms, and that's how I got started.
You touched on it a little bit, the legal industry as a whole, but I think especially personal injury law thrives on specialization, personal flair a little bit.
Yes.
In what ways do you consider yourself to break the mold or innovate within the PI world to kind of set yourself apart?
I think one of the things is that I do speak Spanish. So I think that sets me apart, especially with my Spanish-speaking clients. If they want, they could speak to me. If they want a meeting with me, they could speak to me, as opposed to a meeting with, with me along with maybe a paralegal who's translating everything.
Sure.
And so, or a phone call, they could speak to me over the phone. And then another thing too, I just feel like a lot of attorneys don't have good reputations. Like we have the reputation of being maybe aggressive or difficult to talk to. And I think, and I don't believe that with most attorneys. I think most attorneys that I have met are very charismatic and they're very, very nice. But I guess, the media, TV makes it seem like we're not. But I think that's another thing too. I feel like I'm easy to approach and easy to talk to, and that's something that other people have told me that are not attorneys. They've told me, "Oh, wow, I can't believe you're an attorney. You're so easy to talk to." And I'm just like, we all are easy to talk to. It's just that, it's just that stereotype that I think that people have.
I know it's hard to pick one, but I think every attorney does have that one case that feels defining or transformative to their practice. Can you discuss a case that has had a profound effect on how you approach law?
I'll talk about this one case. This one case, I'll never forget it. I think I had only been practicing for maybe 3 years at that point. And so I went to trial on this one case. We finished the trial maybe around 3:30, something like that. That's always not really good because then the judge sent them to go deliberate. And then if they finish by like 4:15 or whatever, then that'll be it. And then the judge will dismiss everyone for the day. So they went to deliberate, and then about like maybe 4:15, they say that they have a verdict. When they say the verdict, they say that the defendant was not negligent. That was like the first question in the verdict form, was the defendant negligent? And then if they say no, they don't have to answer any of the questions or anything like that, and they go home for the day. So right then and there, I lost the case. The judge was like, "Okay, well, would you like us to poll the jury?" And I said, "Yes, I want to poll the jury." And then so she asks each and every one of them what their verdict was. And when she went through everyone, it was 8 for not negligent, for negligent. Well, it's supposed to be 9-3. At the very least, nine of the jurors need to say that.
I see. Not 8, 9.
Yeah, and so when the judge went through that and I counted, I'm like, "Wait, this is 8-4." And the judge didn't even catch that. She was like, "Okay, everybody could leave for the day." And I was like, "No, no, no, wait, wait, wait." I go, "Your Honor, can I have a sidebar with you?" And then she's like, "Yeah." And so we went, we talked, and I told her, "It's 8-4. I counted 8-4. It's not 9-3." And then she's like, "Really? Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay, let me go through him again." So she went through again and it was 8-4. And then she goes, "It's actually 8-4. It's not 9-3. So you guys don't have a verdict. So you're coming back tomorrow."
Wow.
When she said that, "You're coming back tomorrow," all the jurors were like, "Oh my gosh," like that. They were so annoyed. And then I hear one of the jurors, I see her and she turns to another juror and she goes, "I am going to wring that girl's neck." And so,
Like
yeah, and so
referring to you?
yes, that's how I got it, yeah, and so she says that, and then so I'm thinking, "Okay, for sure I'm gonna lose this case, but, they have to come back." So then she tells them, "Okay, come back tomorrow." So then we go back the next day, and then, they start deliberating, but then they're deliberating for hours, and I start thinking, "Well, maybe this might turn around," and so they deliberate for, like, maybe about 3 hours, and then they come back with a completely different verdict saying that the defendant was negligent and I won that trial. And so that really taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about jurors. It taught me a lot. You should always poll the jury. Also, it just taught me about jurors because I think when I heard the verdict for the first time and then hearing that it was 8-4 and they try to get away with that, I thought to myself, "Wow, they're not really taking their responsibility very seriously." But, when they came back the next day, they did take it seriously because they could have easily just said, "Okay, let's just get one more person to say that the defendant wasn't negligent. Let's get out of here." But they didn't do that. They stayed for hours and they actually deliberated and they changed the verdict. So it made me think that the jurors, they do take their position seriously. They do take that responsibility seriously. It's just that, we don't know what's going on with them in their personal life. Nobody wants to be in a courtroom. Nobody wants to be a juror.
Yes.
I don't know how badly they wanted to get home. I don't know what's going on in their house, what responsibilities they have to get to, their personal responsibilities that they have to get to. But when it comes down to it, they will take their responsibility as jurors seriously. That trial taught me a lot.
Yes, that's a great story. Great point. I mean, do you always poll the jury now on every trial you do?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and I wonder, like, did the defense attorney know, and did he realize what was going on and didn't want to speak up? And then, because fingers crossed, maybe the judge is going to miss it. And sure enough,
Yeah. I assumed he did. I assumed he did, or maybe he didn't bother to count because he thought, well, I won the case, so why am I even going to count? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But I've wondered that too, though.
At CloudLex, we understand the challenges personal injury law firms face every day. That's why we've built the Legal Cloud platform to help you stay productive and keep your cases moving forward. CloudLex provides a comprehensive suite of applications and features to support every stage of intake, pre-litigation, trial, and more. From innovative case management to insightful analytics and HIPAA-secure client communication. CloudLex empowers your firm with the technology to thrive. Build your firm of the future and see for yourself at cloudlex.com. Now, here is this episode's closing argument.
I guess all my life, I've been told that I can't do certain things. And it all started even when I wanted to go to college. I told my parents that I wanted to go away to college and I wanted to go to university. And they told me, no, don't do that. Just stay home and go to a junior college, just stay here. And I didn't want to do that. And so I went ahead and I applied to universities and I ended up going to UC Santa Barbara. And then after UC Santa Barbara, I really wanted to learn Spanish and I wasn't learning it here. And so I decided that I'm going to take a job in Central America and as a teacher. And my parents said, no, you're not going to Central America. You're not going to go there. You're going to stay here. But I told them, I'm the one that's paying for it. I've decided that I'm going to go and I think it's a good opportunity. And so I went and I ended up staying there for a full year. When it came to law school, my parents were like, no, just become a teacher. Why do you want to go to law school? And I said, no, I want to go to law school. When I passed the bar, my parents never thought that I would be able to pass the bar. So I ended up passing the bar and they were very, very proud of me. But I always knew there were people in my life that didn't believe that I could do that. But whenever I hear those discouraging comments, I feel encouraged. And I don't know why, I don't know where I got that from, but I do feel encouraged whenever I hear someone tell me that I can't do something. And when they do tell me that I can't do something, it drives me just to accomplish that. So I think that's one thing that I would like to tell people is just when people tell you that you can't do anything or you can't do something that you really want to do, just go ahead and do it. Just prove it to yourself that you can do it and don't let that stop you. Just do it.
That was trial lawyer Sylvia V. Gonzalez. Thanks for sharing your stories, Sylvia. To learn more about Sylvia and her firm, visit her website, svglawfirm.com. All right, that's a wrap. I'm Chad Sands. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
You've been listening to Celebrating Justice, presented by CloudLex and the Trial Lawyers Journal. Remember, the stories don't end here. Visit triallawyersjournal.com to become part of our community and keep the conversation going. And for a deeper dive into the tools that empower personal injury law firms, visit cloudlex.com/TLJ to learn more.